Very good morning, computer science butines. So let us start our lecture today. Today we will be having practical class only. Okay, so here we'll be discussing few important programs from your unsolved back exercise. So we'll be discussing these four programs today and we will be running them, and they are from your part C of the unsolved problems. Okay, so this is your question 3 from the chapter 3. So your first question says write a program to have the following functions. So we'll be creating functions here. So first function that takes a number as an argument and calculates cube for it. Means you will be passing a number as an argument for which you want to calculate the cube. The function does not return a value, means there will be no return statement, and if there is no value passed to the function in function call, means if you will not pass the number of which you want to calculate the cube, then that function should calculate the cube of 2. Okay, so means that we need to pass a default value also. Okay, so if you will pass a particular value, a new number, then it will take that number and calculate the cube of that. But if in case you are not passing any number, then it will take 2 as the default input. Okay, so for that, for declaring a function, we need to define it first. So at the very beginning we will define it. So we'll write def is for definition of the function, name of the function is cube, and as he has said if you are not passing number, so we have to calculate the cube of 2. So we are taking x is equals to 2, we have passed it as an argument. Okay, otherwise what it will do, it will ask you the number, and you will pass it like this, cube 5 you will give, so it will not take 2, it will override 2 with 5 and it will calculate the cube of 5. Okay, so otherwise the cube of 2 will be 8, right? And cube of 5 will be 125. Okay, and second part of the same question is he is demanding for two functions. So one will be the cube function, second will be the function that takes two character arguments. Okay, that returns true if both are the arguments are equal, otherwise false. So you need to pass two arguments. So it's compute. Okay, this function we have made, so it will calculate whether the arguments a and b that you are passing, if they are equal, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Okay, so we have taken this compute function a comma b. Okay, don't forget to add this colon at the end of the function definitions. Okay, and indentation to be followed is compulsory, otherwise they will not work. And please note that the colors of the keywords, they are orange, and the variables, they are blue. Okay, and the print statement, print is a function, actually inbuilt function comes in purple color. Okay, and whatever the string you will enter will be of green color. Okay, so whether it's a single line string, double line, or triple line. Okay, triple line string is also it makes your comment also, na, so that can also be used somewhere if required. So this function also we have made. So a and b, see what we are trying to do in print, if you will give the value of it, see this function, if a and b argument that you are passing, if they are equal, see this is a comparison operator and this returns only 0 or 1 value, two values it can return. If they are equal, then it will return 1. Okay, and if they are not equal, then it will return 0. Okay, if it will return 1, so print 1 means true. Okay, and if it will return 0, if they are not equal, then it will return, this comp function will return 0, so it will print false. Okay, so here see, these are the two function definition. Initially the Python interpreter will read the function header and will ignore the body of those functions. So this is read and ignored, this is read and ignored. So the program execution will begin from this cube function. So you have passed 5, So this is the function call, so it will go to the function definition. So x will be overwritten now with 5, okay, and the cube of 5 will be calculated. You know, this is an exponential operator that will help you to calculate the cube of the given number. X is the given number, the 5 raised to power 3 will be 125. So this value will be returned here, okay. Next is this is cube, okay. So this cube, what it will do, see, it will be printed here only. We are printing the value, whatever it is being obtained, we are printing it here. So no print statement has been given here. Here we are not printing, here we are printing. So we are telling you the two ways to get printed whatever the value you want to print according to your problem only, okay. So when you will call, this is a function call with the print statement. So you are passing two arguments, a and a. So the both arguments are equal, so a and a are being passed. So it will compare a value is a only, b value is also a, so it will return 1. So it will return 1, and in print statement 1 will be returned, so it will print true, and this will print false, okay. So let us run this particular function. Okay, I have already run it once now, so I'll show you, okay. So you can see the output. So 125 for it and 8 for it for 2, okay. If you are not passing anything, it will take x as 2 and it will calculate true. For when these values will be passed, it will calculate true, and when you will pass z and a, then it will return false, okay. So this particular program has been done. Fine, so now we'll be reading this particular program. So this is your question 4 of part C, and the question is, write a function that receives two numbers and generates a random number from the range, okay. So random function, we have random, actually random is your library, and in this we have different function, and one of your function is random range, okay. So what you need to do is, this random range is a function which will generate a range of values between this, and they both are included, the ranges are included in it. If I say between 1 and 10, so between 1 and 10 means 1 and 10 are also included. Between these, any three random numbers will be picked up, okay. So our program says, write a function that receives two numbers. So function argument means two arguments will be there and generates a random number from the range. So range you will specify here, okay. You are giving the range 1 to 10, and you want, using this function, the main program should be able to print three numbers randomly. So that is why we have given range 3, okay. So we are using a loop here for I is equals to I in range 3, means it will run for three outputs, okay. And then this is a function called random in range, and we have given two arguments 1 and 10. So he has said na, two numbers, receive two numbers and generates a random number. So argument two numbers you need to give, 1 comma 10, okay. So range you have defined, and three numbers it will pick, okay. And this is a function call. This function call comes, it will go to the function definition, okay. A will take 1 and b will take 10 and return. This is a inbuilt function from the random library. So if we want to use any function from the inbuilt library, so that is to be imported first. So we need to write import random. So random is the name of library. When this function has been so this library has been included here, so we can use any of the function of it. So how to refer to that function? Random dot the function that you are referring to, okay. So range is a inbuilt function of this random library, okay, that allows you to pick any random number from the given range. So range is 1 to 10. So when you will run this program, what you will find, let us see that. You can see, So it is giving me output 9, 4 and 6. So it has picked 3 numbers of this from 1 to 10 within this range, 9, 4, 6, 3 random function it has picked. Okay, so this is your outcome. I hope it is clear to you. Okay, now next question is write a function So this is your question number 8. Write a function that takes two numbers and returns. Take two number means two inputs you need to give. Okay. So एक function बनाएंगे. There will be using two numbers as arguments and return the number that has minimum one digit. That has minimum ones digit means if you are entering a number of, like you are entering this number 491 and 278. Okay, so we need to compare the ones digit. Ones digit is 8 and here it is 1. So we should return return the number from that function that we are making whose ones digit is smallest. So you will compare 1 of 491 with the 8 of 278. So which one is smaller? This one is smaller. Actually this is not smaller, but we have to only compare the ones digit. So jiski minimum ones digit hogi, that number has to return back. Okay, so we just need to compare the ones digit. Okay, how to compare? How to extract out the ones digit from a given number? For that we need to use the modulus operator. Okay, so what we are trying to do, we are making a function. Okay, so when this is a function, this is a chapter of functions only, so every time we will be doing work with the function only. Okay, so here we are defining a function. Def is for defining a function. Okay, then small unit place, we are going to calculate the small unit place. This is my name of the function. Okay, so you can take any name of the function, but I am always trying to take a user defined name, means user friendly name. Actually means just looking at this particular program you will be able to get key about which thing we are talking about. So by this name you are easily able to grasp the concept. Small unit place function it will extract out the smallest unit place of the given numbers. So these are my two numbers. Actually he has given 491 and 279. I have taken two different numbers. Okay, so this is my first number, this is my second number. So this is my function call, and when this function call comes we will go to the function definition. So this 345 will be passed to x and 671 will be passed to y. Okay, then for calculating the unit place of x, unit x variable we have created, and then we have used this modulus operator. Fine, and whatever modulus operator will get in the unit place, see 345, once it is divided by 10, okay, what remainder you will get? 5 only. Okay, when you will divide 345 by 10, okay, then you will get 5 as remainder, and when you will divide 671 by 10 you will get 1 as remainder. Okay, so unit x will get 5 and unit y will get 1. Okay, now what we are trying to do, we are comparing. If unit x was 5 is less than 1, no. If it is no, then it will go to else and return y. To whom it will return? It would return to this particular function only, and this function will get back to from where it was originated there, and the value will be either 0 or 1. So when it will be stored to z 0 or 1, and when it will be printed to 0, if it is 0 then it will print false. Okay, actually the number is to be printed. Okay, return y. Y is not y will be 671 or x will be 345. Okay, so if x is unit place of x is less than y, that is not actually, so it will return 671, where 671 will be returned here, and it will return it to here, and it will be stored in z, and print z will print the output. Okay, so now let us print it, check it out, output what we are trying is okay or not. See, we are getting 671. Okay, so we know that ones place of 671 is smaller, so we will get in output 671. Okay, so now the last question for today's session. Write a program. Okay, let me make this particular program comment first, then only I'll be able to continue. Okay, so now this last program is write a program that generates a series using the function that takes first and the last value of the series. Okay, and then generates four terms that are equidistant. Equidistant, you understand, which are at the equal distance from each other. You know AP-GP. So this is your AP series. So for that, formula is last minus first divided by 3. Okay, so once you will get D means that equidistance wala factor, then you can use this D to generate a series. This is your AP series. Okay, so for that we are creating a new function, that is complete series. So we are giving the range, two numbers we have to pass the from which the equidistance ranges will be created. So we are giving start from 1 and up to 7 and create the intermediate numbers that are equidistant, means they will be having the same gap in between. Okay, so for that, formula is D is equal to L minus A. L is the last number, A is the first number. Okay, so 1 comma 7 are passed here. So L is 7 minus 1 is divided by 3. Okay, so 7 minus 1 is 6, divided by 3 is 2. So accordingly the range will be A is, what is A? 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Then 1 plus 2 into D. 2 into D is yes. Okay, so now let us see the answer also. Let us run this particular problem. Then we will be able to see whether we are getting the result or not. Okay. Okay, so you are getting 1, 3, 5 and 7. Okay, so this function is giving me the proper output. Okay, so 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 2 into 2 is 4 plus 1 5 and 7 you will get. So here your session is complete. Better do practice more number of functions from your book. Solved part you can read very easily, and you can try even the unsolved part also. Do read this chapter properly. You need to learn it very deeply because these concepts can be used further also. Okay, I hope you have grasped the concept of function properly, and prepare and complete your notes, and now try to send your SQL file to me on my personal number. You all have my personal number. If you have completed, try sending it me fast. Okay, thank you so much.